The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host, David White, for another hour of fun and adventure in the trading arts. And what we have today is a giant yawner. And I mean a yawner, we're up, 3.5 points at 21.12. And certainly compared to last week, a huge yawner. And we continue to see just a really kind of a flat-ish market without a lot of movement so far. So we'll see how this moves out. But for the most part, nothing happening just yet. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. I suspect we're going to probably have a small pullback into Wednesday, and then we're going to decide what this market's going to do. But until then, pretty flattish out here. Everybody's trying to take as bullish a tone as I've heard for a while on the infotainment, financial infotainment shows. But we shall see out here. And anyway, other things going on. That's it. Just light volume, 1.9 billion shares, so volume is light today. And we'll see how the end of the day stacks up. My guess is we start a little bit of pullback here probably just before the close. And after that, we'll see what happens. But it looks like it's going to be kind of a quiet day. I suspect that pullback starts tomorrow. And then we find out whether or not there's any real desire for higher prices. What we did see on Friday was a push up to the top, and we had a lot of associated volume, a ton of stocks that broke previous highs with volume but closed back into the trading range. And I don't see anything that says that these stocks are breaking out. We have a few of the more, what would you call them, usual suspects that are moving today. A couple that are not, and we'll get to those, as we like to start off with a little history.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And, oh boy, was this today? Or did I forget to update this? I think I may have forgot to update my history. So we're going to go right on to a alternate history that was just a year ago. And that was the beginning of the high-frequency trading with the book coming out, the Flash Boys, basically 1 year ago. Today, it started a big brouhaha, and they're revisiting that on CNBC, at least in the last hour or two. Not a whole lot new to bring up, other than the fact that probably not a lot has actually changed since last year. But I just thought it would in history. The real first, well, I mean, we can go back to like 1804 or 1810. I forget when it was, when the first official complaint of high frequency trading was brought up because someone hired a fast ship to go from Boston to New York. And beat the Pony Express up there, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I think that was 1810, the first complaints of high-frequency trading on the floors of Congress. The real reality of electronic high-frequency trading started in the mid-'70s. And occasionally, if you do watch CNBC, you'll see this gentleman on. He does his own ads, Mr. Pettifree from Interactive Brokers. But the guy just about 10 years earlier had tried to get all kinds of stuff going. Had basically came to the United States penniless, one of the immigrant success stories. living in a small apartment with a convicted, I think he was a convicted pedophile. But the rent was cheap and there was no heat or water. So I don't know what kind of a New York apartment in 1970 had that, but that's where he was living, almost penniless. Got on and started working for people in Wall Street, started his own firm several years later. And he was the first person to actually tie a trading computer to the NASDAQ computer. And at that time, what he actually did was wire up a interface to all the literally to the keyboard to enter orders. And it was kind of interesting because he had one computer, a little mini computer hooked to the actual trading computer from the NASDAQ, and wires were literally going to each individual key on the keypad of the NASDAQ terminal. Eventually, the NASDAQ tried to figure out what was going on because he was making a wad of cash, and they sent somebody in there to look at his terminal and saw that it was wired to another terminal and said, you can't have it actually done like that. The keys actually have to be pressed on the keyboard to qualify. You can't have another computer telling this computer what to do. So in about 3 days, he made a small computer that would actually touch the keys and satisfy the demands of the NASDAQ. They didn't know what to say because, of course, were they going to make a special law to go after this guy? And hence, the days after that, the legacy of high-frequency trading has not stopped electronically. So I think it started about 1978, I think is when he did that. He was always looking for ways to get around things in the stock market, and he started his own trading floor in commodities in Chicago, and no one wanted anything to do with him because, of course, he wasn't part of the old guard on the commodities trading floor, so he had a very interesting idea. Most of the people, men that were working on the trading floor, in fact, 99.9% of them, I think there was one woman working on the trading floor in the Chicago pits at the time, from his biography. He went down to a model school and hired 3 models that were buxom, to say the least. And, of course, a bunch of oversexed traders in the pits soon started giving his company a lot of business. Kind of hard to ignore those women down there on the floor for very long. But the siren song was enough to get him started making a lot of cash. He continued doing high-frequency trading, and in 2006, I think it was 2006 or 2008, Interactive Brokers went public, and he pocketed at $1.5 billion at the time, and kind of a nice success story for someone who came here, I think in 1968, with nothing in his pocket, fleeing from communism in his native Hungary. But he was a smart guy, and he put it all together. And what else can you say? Anyway, back to the flash crash boys 1 year later. Not a whole lot happening on that front. A lot of people looking back at it. His paperback version of the Flash Boys comes out today. But I think Wall Street never really likes it when someone points the bright light on a market. And, of course, it got distracted into a whole thing of whether the market's rigged or not. I think you can probably safely say that they don't give a sucker a even chance. Is it totally rigged? There's a tax. It's kind of like the equivalent of the mob. There's a little bit of money that goes to them just because of the way that they've rigged everything. Is it so much that you can't buy it? The answer is no. Is it so much you can't make a profit? No. Are they making more money than ethically is permissible? Yes. But as the author of Flash Boys said today, he wasn't startled by how much stuff that was going on was illegal. It was how many things that weren't illegal that probably should have been. So, interesting to me anyway. Of course, other things going on out here as we watch these markets. and that is that the election of 2016 has started. And I don't think that that's big news, other than the fact that we're basically almost 2 years to the next president, a little less than 2 years. Senator Cruz basically came out this morning and was fairly unapologetic to his call for those that are of the Christian faith. And to me, the most interesting thing is the way that the markets work once this starts. The Fed, for the most part, will start to try to clean up all the problems that happened from political pressure from the previous president, and that means we've got about 6 months. Even if into the off years, like the 2012 election cycle, for president, they try to clean things up before the election cycle happens. I suspect that is another reason we will see interest rates sooner rather than later. But from everybody running around the Fed and doing Fed speak, they are mostly saying kind of a one and done. That is, we're not going to be dragging this out. And we just want to get we just want to wet our beak with slightly higher rates. And basically, I think one of the Fed presidents thinking he was funny. But I guess if you live in the land of blind people, a guy with one eye is king. This guy made a incredibly small joke about how that it would be, what can you say? We're going from incredibly accommodative to extremely accommodative. I can't even say it. Accommodative. I think I've had a stroke. Accommodative, he said. I don't know why I couldn't say that word today. Anyway, what else can you say? Anyway, they're going to want to try to get these interest rates up into and before the last election, and get any of the undeserved or unintended consequences out of the way. So I am thinking, especially with the early start for this, and of course, at least two of the Republican candidates are going to be talking about having the FOMC audited. And I think Cruz is one, and I think Rand Paul's the other. So we're going to see a lot more of this, and I guess my guess is that they're going to probably be a little bit more conservative than they would be facing what's coming out for the election here over the next year. My guess is that as we get into the January of that election year, we'll probably see them flatten out, and they'll be done at least for that 9 months into the election. We'll be back in just a minute. Give me a call.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And Starbucks CEO came out on Sunday and said that he would no longer be encouraging to write the phrase "race together" on customers' coffee cups, drawing to a close a widely derided component of the company's plan to promote discussion on racial issues in their coffee shops. And I thought, very interesting idea, but I think probably he may have jumped the race shark out here, mostly because I think if you probably live outside of the East and West Coast, and maybe Chicago, you probably feel like you get a whole lot of discussion about it all the time. It seems like the news is constantly talking about issues around race. It's not like this is like come out of the blue or it's not around anywhere. And most customers ended up just saying, I want my coffee and I want it now. I don't want somebody yapping up in front of the line here. This has nothing to do with going to the back of the bus. I just want my coffee and I want it now. I got to get to work. I got to do other things. And I always wonder about how people approach things. My dad used to say, he who is convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. And I have a feeling that most of the people from all the stuff that was happening with the one percenters up there in New York last year, think it gets to be shrugged off fairly easily. I think they've got to make their point in a more compelling way. It seems awful tough, anyway, to me. But no change in their stock price. But I have a feeling that if you come from Seattle or L.A. or New York or Boston or Chicago, I think you have a much different view of the world, or at least the United States, from coast to coast. And most people just not so consumed by political events as I think a lot of people in the east and left coast. But just one man's opinion out here. Probably didn't hurt him, didn't help him. So I don't know. Maybe it's good that you get your name in the paper. Of course, probably about 9 months ago, I talked about a thing called CRISPR, which is clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. And it is basically what I was talking about Tom O'Brien in the Tech Insider Hour was a language to literally, just like a computer language, start writing programs. There are now programs to start editing human DNA. And I think it was on Friday night, there was an article that came out, and I think it was in Nature, signed by a ton of the, by a ton, I think I mean 4 or 5 of the top DNA researchers who want a moratorium until they can figure out what's going on with humans. But certainly there is the tools now to start making designer babies and genetically modified humans. Basically, they're saying that for the most part, they want to make sure that if we're doing genetics, that it isn't at the beginning egg level and sperm level, that it is maybe on other things that wouldn't continue down the generations after they've been performed. That's it. But I think we're starting to see at least the discussion of probably the Frankenstein argument for DNA. And, on a day where we've got the IBB down fairly quick, kind of interesting. But what else can you say about that? It is a little different. So what do you think? Anyway, they're starting to complain about it. Keep an eye on that. I don't think it has anything to the move with IBB today, but it is interesting. And we talked about the Flash Boys 1 year early. And lastly, talked probably 6 months ago or 8 months ago about how easy it would be to hack the iPhone with regular fingerprints. But a lot of people making a lot of hay about the particular issues with the fingerprint being a good security password. You can buy a box now on eBay that will break just about any fingerprint password on iPhone 5s and 6s. And it looks like there's not going to be a lot of change anytime soon. If you've got physical control of a device, not going to be that hard to do it. And they're even signing devices to do it. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as always, Andy Heck has new articles on Monday up on Seeking Alpha. I posted them in the den. You can go to Seeking Alpha and find them. Of course, one of the ones that I said last week was that the Fed wanted to be just a little bit pregnant on these rate raises. And it's one of those things, either you are or you're not. You're not kind of sort of pregnant. You either are or you're not. And he wrote an article about that, along with some other things. So you can go check him out there. And he'll be on tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. But I do digress. Anyway, we've got some big volume on Kansas City Southern, KSU. It's down with 3.1 million shares against 4.2 million shares. And it is through that low. My guess is we'll have the 4.2 by the end of the day. Of course, that's January 23rd low out here. And let me get the headlines to say the truth, but they were basically guiding down. Cuts its outlook. See what else is out here about what they said. I think the recent let's see what they're saying here. The recent decline in oil prices has led low-cost air carriers to increase capacity growth, with turn made legacy airlines to choose either match or lower profit. Wonder if that has anything to do with airfare. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, they guided down and they got hammered. A request in the den is UNP. So we'll take a look at them, which is Union Pacific. And all these, of course, are bank shot plays out here. Decent volume. I'm just surprised that we don't have more of them. I suspect that the downside is maybe a little bit more crude coming from the Arab Peninsula with their lower price, and probably a few less rail cars. I think there's also a thought that all the accidents happening on rail cars is going to continue to put pressure on those that are pushing the pipelines. And we've had 3 or 4 major oil accidents. So my guess is we're also going to see insurance rates go up for those Union Pacific and Kansas City Southern and the rest of them. This thing's got a low out here at 109.54 with 6.2 million shares. So I'm looking at that February 14th low is getting tested in UNP. When we have CP, Canadian Pacific, you don't get near the action out there. And my guess is that is why it's not coming. They're not heavily focused in the shale region of pulling crude and even refined product out of that area. So not so much a move in Canadian Pacific. If you wanted to do a pairs trade, my guess is this would be the one you'd want to be long, and you'd want to be short one of these other ones that's going to get hammered on lower crude prices. Canadian National Railway, CNI, same thing, down a little bit. Volume big? No. So you got a tale of two cities out here, and that is basically all these. You'd think Canadian Pacific would probably be a little bit bigger, but I don't think it's going to affect them near as much as that. But one of the reasons they are guiding down is storage is filling up. Doesn't make any sense to be shipping more oil down to storage facilities that are 100% full. And I think that's the other reason, especially for KSU, that we're seeing that kind of problem out there. Again, not a lot of stuff moving out here. So on a day where we're mostly moving sideways for most things, kind of tough to get too fired up. Trying to remember the other one that was moving big out here today. Cyber, CYBR, had been really pushed down into options expiration. It actually had a fairly decent buy signal out here. This thing gapped up on 7.2 million shares on the 13th of February, tried to get into it on 2.8 million shares on March 16th. On Friday, it got into it with 1.4 million shares, and a nice, huge bounce out of here for CyberArk, CYBR on that one. And volume is pretty decent out here. But my guess is you may get one more stab down around in this gap. So look for 47.5 to $48. My guess is you may have one more move back in here. I mean, this is probably a trade in itself today, but that's it. I don't have a huge amount of stocks out here other than the ones that maybe moved on news today. The reason being we just don't have a lot of these stocks moving. Of course, the one sector that is moving out here is the IBB and everything into it. We talked about whether or not on Friday that this could be kind of an island reversal. You didn't really have that island sign, but you certainly had a reversal signal opening up at the top and opening up lower today. Again, more bad news for most of the other ones out here. VRTX was down about, $5 today. Did I put that? VRTX, if I could type VRTX. Nice gap down on this one too. Again, this is not uncommon. I'm seeing a lot of volume in these stocks, and they are popping right back into the trading range, which is kind of interesting to see the broader stocks out here. But you had a significant break above it on the 19th, on Thursday, on the 20th. Of course, we opened higher just like the rest of them. Huge amounts of volume, and then a pop right back into the trading zone. And a lot of people are thinking that maybe we have seen, at least time for a while, the high in biotechs that just continued moving higher and higher and higher. And the question is, was Kramer's push enough into the biotechs out here and some of these other stocks, the last hurrah back up at these highs? And be kind of interesting to see. What else did we see? Gilead was one of the other ones out here. Again, this is one of the ones I was talking out here about. And that is, Kramer's been really pumping it to the nth degree, pumping it Thursday and Friday again. And the whole idea is that this Alzheimer's drug will be the end-all, be-all. And it may have more problems than people were led to believe to begin with, and continues to see additional issues. What else did we have out here? Freeport had a nice pop up here today because their mine was reopened following a blockade. It was up about 4% earlier. FCX, of course, you kind of saw that into Friday as that was happening, but a little bit more out here today. And, pretty nice juice on Friday, not so much today. Not bad, but you're basically going up against 13 million share day on the 12th of March, and you got about 15 million shares today. But this is where we start running back into a little bit of trouble. Win is one of these other ones out here, up about 3% today. And as far as I can tell, looks like a dead cat bounce in this thing. Was up to 136.36 today and pulled rather significantly back. 133 now. Not a lot of volume out here. You certainly want to see a low volume test of the 121.53 low from March 18th. So we'll be looking at that. We already talked about KSU. Staples is up. Of course, they're consolidating PLS. Big upgrade. And what else can you say about this? This thing had been making a fairly decent pattern out here. Had been consolidating away for, 10 days out here. It wouldn't have been something I bought, but good pattern to test out here. Huge spike up on the 11th of December. I think that's when they talked about merging with Office Depot. Came back on with 11 million shares on January 21st. On 7.7 million shares on March 11th. So it's skipping along that gap up. Then it just went sideways for, 7 days. Not surprising this thing popped up after going and consolidating in a narrow range for amount of days. Pretty much shows you that at least some people were in here buying. I suspect whoever upgraded them today was the one who was, of course, buying that sideways move. Maybe they're selling it today, maybe not. What else do we have? NVIDIA is down on a downgrade in VDA. The last real graphics company out here in America that has not found a dancing partner for the mobile revolution. And it continues to be problematic for them. They've done much better than I thought that they would. But with Intel coming on and price cuts, Intel really getting active in the mobile space, especially with the new mobile processors that are so much better on power consumption and heat than Qualcomm or NVIDIA or the rest of the bunch. It looks to me like there's going to be a fairly decent amount of market share move to Intel from NVIDIA. It's probably not going to move Intel up any, but it may hurt NVIDIA and Qualcomm and some of these other companies making processor chips and graphics chips for the mobile revolution. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. Tenet Healthcare up on a confirmed that United Surgical Partners will combine their ambulatory surgery and imaging centers in new JV, whatever that means. Tenet has also announced a purchase of Aspen Healthcare. So a little pop back up in here. Lots of volume, but right up against the December 26th high. $52.81, 920,000 shares, up about 2.8 million shares. What can you say? I think that there's, you basically got up there. You came, a dime, 12 cents short and down there. So probably want to watch Tenet in the next couple of days. You could also make an argument that this high volume down day of the 12th of January, 5.2 million shares, is what this is going up against for resistance. And, huge down day there. Just a slide of the December 26th high. But probably a lot of people in that candle more than glad to get their cash back. What else do we have? Huge activity in WUBA's option market has got this stock going. Of course, it's the Chinese internet company 58.com, WUBA. It's up to its previous high. And again, pretty much stopping at the major high of December 5th, $49.75, 830,000 shares with double that volume already, but up against that high. So what else do we have out here? Lulu. It's got a little action in it. Just take a look at it. This thing's had one bounce off the huge gap up it had from earnings on the 12th of January. That gap came up on 10 million shares. It got into it with a March 6th. I almost bought it. It looked fairly decent out here with 5.4 million shares on March 6th on this gap back down. Then it went sideways for a few days. Got up to $66 and 18 cents on the 20th on Friday, and kind of a little pullback. My guess is that you got a chance to get this one probably at $61 again. So no reason to race out here. See if we have anything else going on. That's pretty much in that. Let's take a look at see how some of the stocks did from Friday. Let's go take a look at the 19th. I want to see how some of these have done. I was most interested in cons. This is one that's back up, trying to go through this gap. Consolidation on the other way, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days sideways so far, pretty much in CONN. This one is the one that took a beating back on the 9th of December when it said it was not going to make earnings. It is kind of like a Aaron's / Best Buy, and they were having big problems getting anybody to pay for their rent here, buy here television sets. It's back up into this range again.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. As this one-of-a-kind winter comes to a close and spring approaches, it only seems fitting that now is the perfect time for a spring Tiger Dollar sale. For this week only, we're doubling the bonus that we give when you purchase any amount of Tiger Dollars. Normally, we offer a 10, 15, or 20% bonus when you purchase Tiger Dollars, but for this week only, we're doubling our special offers, and you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even up to a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. This is one of our best Tiger Dollar sales of the year and won't be around for long. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN product or service and provide a great way to lock in added value on your subscriptions. Tiger Dollars never expire, so whether you're a current subscriber or plan on subscribing at one point in the future, take advantage of this spring Tiger Dollar sale this week only and get up to a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. This sale ends Sunday night, so don't miss out. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Get your Tiger Dollars today and lock in your bonus before this sale passes you by.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we are back. Anyway, we're talking about cons out here, and it's pretty much just going sideways. Got a question in the den. It says, in your speculation, are the SPX, NDX, and Dow prone to rolling over here? And I don't know if the answer is rolling over is the correct belief in that. I think the answer is a possibility. I think a probability is that we get back into where this all kind of ramped back up, and that is around that 2090. If we pull back with light volume, then yes, we could see a higher trading range out here. If we start seeing people exit stage left, and I think you can see just the IBB being down a couple of days in a row out here may get some of the fast money crowd out of this market. And is it any big deal that we're off $20 after this thing basically rocketed up all the way from $300? The answer is probably no. But I think that tells you that there's a little fear in some of these sky high stocks, and I think a little of that is starting to come off. And normally when you see it come off on something like the IBB, you start seeing it come off on some of the other super high flyers. A lot of the stocks that are at lows with light volume look like they probably put a floor in or are much better bets for not getting your head taken off than something like the IBB. But so far, my guess is that this is the first day of options rollover. Tomorrow, we're going to see more of options rollover, and that they're holding this market up on a very, very light volume tells me that we're probably going to be pulling back at least till tomorrow and through tomorrow. And I expect them to try to push it down to that 2090 level, about 2092. And at that level, we'll start seeing whether we get buyers back in this market. I think we're probably at least going to have an argument. I don't think it's going to be any kind of rollover, but it's going to be an interesting day out here. Anyway, we were looking at cons. So keep a close eye on that one. That one looks like it's winding up for additional. Of course, the stocks that continue to be down here on fairly light volume are these energy stocks down here at these lows. And did I didn't put it up out here, but it certainly looks to me like this is kind of a tepid bounce in these stocks. In Oxy, certainly these things are down with lighter volume than the previous high volume lows at December 16th. In Oxy, that's $72.32 on 8.8 million shares. And are we back up? Yeah. But I don't see a lot of love coming these ways, which makes me think we're going to get at least one more test of the lows. Let's take a quick look at XOM, and kind of a similar thing. We've literally busted through the high volume low, and now this thing's probably going to be looking at resistance at 86 bucks. You had a huge doji that is either the halfway mark or a sign of a bottom. We kind of got that in Exxon on the 13th. This thing's been kind of meandering up here. We had a lot of volume, almost a little bit of a reversal on Friday. Light volume up here today so far too. And for all the talk of a huge move in these, that maybe I started just because they've been breaking these lows on lighter volume, you're just not getting a lot of love out here. So yeah, supposed to get a bounce and not getting much of anything. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. And hang on for Tom O'Brien. 2 more hours of the great one after this.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.